Utilizing emotional intelligence, conflict management in the workplace. As you continue building your professional toolkit, there's one other piece you absolutely need to include: emotional intelligence. It's not just a nice skill to have, it's crucial. The ability can enhance your communication, improve relationships, help you handle conflicts, make you more adaptable, and even unlock your leadership potential. All of these key ingredients for professional growth and success. Let's start with communication. It's the backbone of professional success. Emotional intelligence helps you express your thoughts and ideas clearly and with empathy, making it easier for your colleagues to understand and collaborate with you. By picking up on emotional cues, you can navigate conversations smoothly and ensure that your interactions are both positive and productive. Building solid relationships at work is a must. Emotional intelligence helps you develop empathy and understanding towards your peers. When you connect on an emotional level, it strengthens teamwork, builds trust, and creates a more harmonious work environment. Conflicts are bound to happen in any job, but if you have high emotional intelligence, you'll find it's much easier to manage and resolve them. By understanding the emotions behind the conflict, you can address issues constructively, leading to solutions that work for everyone involved. The workplace is constantly changing, and emotional intelligence gives you the adaptability to thrive in these dynamic environments. By keeping your emotions and stress in check, you can tackle problems with a clear head, making you more effective at your job. Even if you're starting out in an entry level position without immediate leadership duties, emotional intelligence lays the groundwork for your future roles. By showing awareness, empathy, and strong communication skills, you can inspire and motivate others, setting the stage for a career advancement. So, as you step into the professional world, remember that emotional intelligence isn't just nice to have, it's a must have. Everyone deals with tricky relationships at some point in life, whether it's coworkers, friends, or family. Emotional intelligence is important in these situations because studies show that people with high emotional intelligence not only have more fulfilling careers, but also richer relationships. Think about it. Being able to recognize and manage your own emotions, along with understanding other people's emotional signals, can really change how you handle complicated relationships. As we dive deeper, keep in mind that boosting your emotional intelligence is not just for your own benefit. It's a journey that helps everyone around us, improving our ability to connect and work together more effectively. Workplace conflict can pop up from all sorts of places, and it's important to spot these so that they can be dealt with properly. Conflicts often arise due to differences in personalities, workplace behavior, and poor communication. It's also key to realize that when needs aren't met or roles aren't clearly defined, conflict can easily bubble up. Imagine how different work styles or goals, or a shaky handling of changes in the organization, like slowdowns, mergers, or layoffs, could stir things up. Even differences in perspective from age, gender, or upbringing might contribute to the tension. The truth is, workplace conflict is kind of inevitable because of all of these different factors. It's less about dodging conflict entirely and more about handling it in a positive way. Being able to recognize and manage your own feelings and picking up on other emotional cues can really change how you handle tricky situations. Oftentimes in arguments, it's not about somebody being right or wrong. Instead, a lot of times arguments are simply people that see things differently, which then leads to a disagreement. This conflict can pop up anywhere, whether it's in a team at work or among friends. But here's the kicker: conflict isn't always a bad thing. If you tackle it with an open mind, it can actually make your team stronger by helping you sort out problems. Plus, when people don't see eye to eye, it gives you a chance to learn more about yourself, understand others where they're coming from, and build better relationships. There are three main types of conflict that you may bump into in a work environment. First, there are personal or relational conflicts. These tend to pop up because of differences in things like value, communication styles, or work ethics. They can cause misunderstandings, make everyone less productive, and create tension among team members. Then there are instrumental conflicts. These are more about disagreements over how things should be done, like procedures, tasks, or how resources are divvied up. They usually come up when people have different ideas about strategies, workload, or deadlines. Since they tend to deal with logistical stuff, these conflicts can sometimes be very easy to work through. Finally, there are conflicts of interest. These happen when someone's personal interests may sway their judgment or decisions, leading to biased outcomes. This kind of conflict can really mess with trust and integrity within a team or organization. It's super important to spot and tackle these early on to keep things fair and transparent. Getting a handle on these types of conflicts can help us deal with them more effectively, leading to a more united and productive work environment. There are some must have skills for handling conflict. First, it's important to express your views clearly and with confidence. Now, this doesn't mean going out and being all aggressive. Instead, it's about being assertive and making sure what you're saying is clear and getting across without any misunderstandings. Then there's active listening, which is a total game changer. It means really focusing, understanding, and responding to what the other person is talking about. Oftentimes, people listen to respond instead of active listening to a person that's talking. When you're doing these things, it helps you not only catch all of the details, but also shows that you're respecting and are open to what they're saying, which is going to set the stage for a really good conversation. Another skill is, as we've been discussing, your emotional intelligence. This means being aware of your own emotions of those and those of others, which can really help you guide how you handle interactions during conflict. It helps you keep your cool and tweak your approach to keep things constructive. Lastly, don't forget about empathy. Putting yourself in someone else's shoes helps you understand where they're coming from and what they're feeling, leading to a more compassionate and effective conflict resolution. These skills aren't just about solving conflicts, they're about strengthening relationships and building trust. Good communication skills can improve the way that you operate through life, smoothing your way in your relationships with others. Poor communication skills can sour relationships, from business to personal, and make your life significantly harder. The process of interpersonal communication is irreversible. You can wish you hadn't said something, and you can apologize for something you said and later regret, but you can't take it back. No form of communication is simple. There are many reasons why communication is taking place, how it's taking place, and how messages are being broadcast and received. All communication has a context, especially in conflict. It happens for a reason, and knowing why is the first step. We communicate far more and far more honestly with nonverbal communication than we do with words. Building strong relationships really boils down to having great listening skills. Think about how you communicate with others using both words and body language. Think about what we're actually picking up behind the words that we hear. It's not just about the literal meaning, it's about understanding and emphasizing with the emotions involved. This is where our emotional intelligence comes into play. Asking questions and clarifying what someone means is an essential part of improving our social skills. These actions show not only that we care, but they also play a big role in effective, active listening. As we go forward, remember that listening, again, isn't just about hearing the words, but it's about connecting with the feelings and intentions behind them. Again, active listening is really a key to good communication. It's not just about hearing what someone says, it's about truly getting where they're coming from and seeing things from their perspective. When we listen actively, we give others a chance to share their thoughts and feelings before we chime in with our own. This may sound simple, but it often takes a conscious effort. Think about how powerful cues can be. Little things like positive gestures and being open to the other signals can really help in building a mutual understanding. It's also important to be aware of any biases you might have, since these can skew your perception. During conversations, try not to interrupt or judge. Give the other person the respect of being heard without jumping in with criticism. By focusing on these aspects of active listening, especially during disagreements, we set the stage for meaningful and effective communication. Another skill is receiving feedback, especially when it's something you don't want to hear. Honestly, not everyone is skilled at giving feedback. One way to receive it is to first be open to the feedback. To hear feedback, you need to be willing to listen to it. Don't think about what you're going to say in reply, just listen. Notice the nonverbal communication as well, and listen to what your colleague is not saying, as well as what they are. Thank them. They see that you've understood and listened and accepted their thoughts. Acceptance in this way does not mean you need to act on whatever they've told you. However, you should consider the feedback they've given you, reflect on its purpose and meaning, and decide how, if at all, you wish to act upon it. Another important factor is engaging your empathy. The key is to pick up on emotional cues. These aren't just about the words people use, but also how they deliver them. We've talked about nonverbal communication, so think about their body language, their tone of voice, and other subtle nonverbal hints you may see. This is where your listening skills come into play. It's not just about hearing what's being said, but actively making sure you understand the message being communicated. Being sensitive and understanding can really make a difference. When we generally see something from someone else's point of view, it helps us support them more effectively. It's not about faking it, it's about honestly connecting with their needs and emotions. Being sincere is crucial. People usually know when empathy is fake, and that can backfire. Genuine understanding builds trust and strengthens relationships. So, as we interact with others, aim for real connections that are based on authentic empathy. This can make a huge impact both in your personal life and your professional circle. Two interesting things about empathy that you also want to keep in mind are empathy avoidance and empathy overload. Empathy avoidance happens when someone chooses not to engage empathetically, almost like being emotionally tone deaf. While avoiding empathy entirely isn't great for long term relationships, there are times when it's actually necessary to hold back a little bit. Think about a manager who has to make hard decisions, like laying off employees. In those situations, toning down their emotional reactions can help them stay effective. On the flip side, we have empathy overload. This is when you get swamped by too much distressing information or situations. Picture a teacher or social worker who is constantly dealing with high stress scenarios, like students with tough home situations. The emotional burden can be exhausting and can lead to lower productivity and fuzzy boundaries. These are classic signs of empathy overload. Understanding these ideas is very important for managing how we respond emotionally and keeping our relationships, whether personal or professional, on track. What are some steps that you can follow when tackling conflicts at work? First, it's crucial to admit when there's a sticky situation. This acknowledgement is the starting point for sorting things out. Let everyone involved share their feelings and perspectives. It's key to understanding where everyone is coming from. Once that's out of the way, it's all about clearly defining the problem. This clarity helps in figuring out what everyone really needs. Finding even the smallest bit of common ground is essential. Whether it's agreeing on the problem, the way to handle things, or even sharing the same fears, every little agreement is a step in the right direction. When you're brainstorming solutions, come up with a bunch of options and make sure everyone feels included in the process. If someone is oddly quiet, it might mean they're not fully on board, so encourage them to speak up. Lastly, decide on some follow-up actions to keep track of how things are going and to figure out what to do if the issue isn't resolved. This keeps everyone accountable and helps improve the situation. By following these steps, you can not only resolve conflicts, but you can also create a more collaborative and understanding work environment. We've talked a lot about the importance of emotional intelligence and the importance that it plays in resolving conflicts. Let's talk a little bit more about steps to resolve conflicts and think about some in the moment steps that we can take to make things a little bit easier. Think of EEPR, quick little acronym to help you remember. The first E, engage your emotional intelligence. Give yourself at least 5 seconds to let your logical side catch up with your emotions. This short pause can make sure that your response is more thoughtful rather than just a knee jerk reaction. Second E, engage emphatic listening. This is all about really just tuning into the other person's perspective. When we get where someone else is coming from, it sets the stage for some solid communication. Our P, parrot. Paraphrasing ensures that you're showing that you understand their point of view. It not only shows respect to their feelings, but also helps clear up any confusion. And our last R, reward. Now, this may seem a little bit odd. Why am I rewarding somebody I'm in conflict? But it's not reward in the traditional sense. It's not about agreeing with them, but recognizing their perspective. Phrases like, I see where you're coming from, but I disagree, or I understand what you're telling me, but have you considered this? Keep the conversation open and encourage growth. This technique is key for acknowledging and validating the other person's stance while clearly stating your own. Again, emotional intelligence is key to resolving conflict and recognizing conflict in both personal and professional environments. Adding this skill to your toolkit will help your professional career.